Well, I think inevitably you're looking at various ways to tell a story and to keep variety and to keep your connection to the audience whilst maintaining the integrity of the central character. I think you need to identify exactly what the character's motivation is to tell the story, why they're telling the story, why is it important, and also, I suppose, in relation to that, who are the audience? Does he know they're there? Does he not know they're there? Is it an internal soliloquy and reflection? So I think finding ways to continually change the dynamic for the audience, so the story can be heard, the story can be changed, you can keep the audience off balance slightly with what they're hearing, so that the evening becomes not just fascinating, but also revelatory. I think they're the challenges of directing a one-person show, helping the actor to discover their own voice, the integrity of their voice, and how to keep changing it. Well, I've done both, and the challenges of a big space are particular and thrilling and exciting. But in a way, there's nothing that beats the intimacy that you can achieve when you can see the whites of the audience's eyes. Because you get a much better sense of how the audience are listening to the play. And it allows the brave actor an opportunity to not only involve that audience, but to change the way in which they play the show according to what they can feel coming back from that audience who was sat very closely. I think that makes the theatrical experience then very unique, because no single performance is ever the same, because the response of the audience each night will be different. Consequently, when the actor is in tune with that audience and can see that audience, the performance will change. So in some ways, the intimacy of the studio space is always thrilling. I always love, when I go to the theatre, to get as close as I possibly can. I like to be able to smell the costumes, especially after a 3-week run. I like that sense of reality, of engagement. I like the fact that we're in that imaginative space. You can nearly touch the actor. That's what's so wonderful about a studio space. So I do find that a very exciting space to make work in. Well, this is a story, a very simple story, or a set of very simple stories. And stories, of course, as we know, are essential to our human condition. We as human beings love stories. We love to tell stories. We understand the world through our stories. We're connected to our families through our stories. We're connected to each other through stories. And these stories are about a culture that has been lost, that no longer exists. And we're encouraged to look at this rich culture, this vibrant culture, and to reach backwards and connect to it, and to associate it with our own lives, and to listen to its human quality, to listen to the reality of those people's life, and perhaps to listen to some of the warnings that lie hidden within that text as well. I think what's thrilling is as well with it to see how a simple story on a page, which is wonderful to listen to and read, can be told by an actor, and the act of performance can give it extra texture, extra dimension. Not just in the telling of it, but in what lies between the words as well, in those wonderful silences in which the audience are complicit, in which you share collective folk memory. Sounds a little bit heavy. Actually, there's so many wonderful laughs in this show. It's so human. It's an evening of storytelling at its best, and I think that's why an audience should come and see it.